For him, project-based learning was the best thing he could have done. He doesn't think linearly. He doesn't do things the way most people want him to do things. Learning with others was great. He's always been by himself, so being able to learn with other people gave him an ability to learn how to pull from other people and how to give to other people. He's far more confident than he used to be. He makes friends more easily, a lot more easily, because now he understands people better. He understands how people are going to respond to him and how to respond to other people a lot better than he used to be. He's able to move into situations whereas before he couldn't. He had a hard time moving into new things and just being part of the group, where now he can. This was one of the reasons that we pulled him out of school to begin with. He just couldn't seem to grasp the concept of other people, how they should respond to him, how he should respond to them, how to work together with anybody besides himself. And friendships just didn't exist. And now he has all kinds of friends. Now he was sad at the end of this year because even he's leaving this year, and he was almost disappointed to actually be finishing school. What an incredible mark for him, because he nearly quit. I mean, we first started off as registration for 5 years, and then we had 2 years of having a teacher. And while the teacher was really good and helped keep things fairly simple and, doing what we had used to do before, now he had strict PLOs he had to follow. And this is where, at the end of 2 years of that, he was done. And he was only finishing grade 8. And he came to me and said, "I'm done, I'm not doing any more school." Yeah, I panicked. And I just had to step back and say, okay, well, if you could do anything you wanted, what would you do? And he said what he would do, and so having no other choice, that's really all he did. He sat online and he studied Japan the entire year for grade 9. I did make him do math, but that was it. Everything else was just, he did anything he wanted to, but it really was all Japan. I thought he'd wasted on computer games, and he didn't. He spent the entire year on that. Wrote a bit of a blog. And then in grade 10, he realized he was going to have to get a little bit more serious. And that's when he met you for English 10. So he had Math 10 and English 10, and I think his only other plan for high school was to get English 12 after English 10, and then he would be done. I'm not sure exactly what convinced him he had to move further, except for that I had come to him and said, if you don't have at least 80 credits, you're not going to get anywhere. No university or no other school will ever take you, and I can't even imagine that McDonald's would hire you. And and that's when conversation to move forward, moving on, began. But it was very, very hard at first, because he was truly the most disorganized person I have ever met. He loves to learn, especially about history, but he loves to learn about anything just about that comes along. He doesn't mind new concepts, he doesn't mind new ideas, he doesn't mind, and in fact he actually embraces a lot of that. He's much more organized in every way. His thoughts are more organized, his room is more organized, his desk, you can find the top. It's wonderful. And his school is together. He always knows what he's doing, whereas his first year in Innovations was very disorganized, and he didn't know what he was doing on any given day ever. And it could easily, even then, change every 5 minutes. It was changing. By the end of the first year, he had come to some way of figuring out a system of organization, and then that just grew this year. This year he's far more organized, and now by the end of the year, he figures he's ready for university now, and that is the highlight. If your child doesn't take your advice, then Innovations is probably a good thing to look into, because getting that same parental advice from the teachers who love the kids, who are easily available and working with the kids, it gives the kids a new perspective on the same advice. If the student is disorganized, it's a good place to go to learn how to become organized. By the end of the year, some of the most disorganized students, well, Nathaniel is a perfect example of that. He went in being unbelievably disorganized and came out being quite organized. He's more organized than I am. And I would say that kids who don't fit in the box, this is not a box. Nathaniel had corners sticking out all over the place, and this place is where they create the box around him rather than making him fit in the box.